So we hit record it and then we tried to go from here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's your boy Pivot back in this bitch on our trader agent trying to get active, trying to get live. Where the fuck is the camera? I cannot see the camera. Where am I? Now what the hell going on today? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where am I not on the screen? Start video. Do we want OBS virtual camera? No. We want UK. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The market is already open. Let's do a little mic check. Let's get some good color. Are we good color? No, we're not good color. Very dark. All right, all right, all right. Here we go, good people. Hey, we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Welcome to the University of Pippage weekend analysis of A Trade the Asian. What's up, baby? You trying to get in the camera? This ain't for you, bro. You're gonna have to come back later. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So coming at you with that weekend analysis, looking at AU as always, starting off on AU. We're gonna bump out to them higher time frames and bust everything down as far as what we're looking for, how we looking to get active this week. Ultimately, like these last few weeks, price action been squarely. We've been ranging or stuck within this bro. Okay, well, go ahead and say hi to the camera real quick. Can you see yourself right there?
No.
Okay, because you gotta let me finish this video so I can get on up out of here, okay? Then that way we can play and we can do whatever we need to do. Look at the camera, bro. You right down there. I know you can see you, bro. Come on now, we live. All right. Okay. All right, so my son, he always trying to get a little camera time. Goofy. Grayson, relax, baby. All right, so pretty much somewhat starting off with kind of the same analysis we had coming in from last week. Identifying from the low to the high. We got the little breaker structure right over here. So, oh, come on. We got a little breaker structure right over here on the daily time frame. And that is why we are now identifying where we at with the breaker structure. Come on, baby. Breaker structure right there. You know, with this price section here. So that's why we're identifying from the low to the high. This is where the move started from, come all the way up, break structure looking left. And then we started somewhere retracing about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Ever since then, we came down bearishly, kind of broke a little bit of a structure right over here. So for the most part, when I see breaks of structure like this, I kind of expect price action to come all the way back down deep within higher time frame demand / support area. So right now, we kind of gonna see the 4 hour is not really showing us which way price action really wants to go just yet, but we gonna find out. Hold on, yeah, yeah. Okay, so looking at it from a daily time frame, from the low to the high, we're pretty much bullish on the daily time frame. We got to identify right over here. In the 4 hour time frame, when we bump down on Bloody, we can see is as price action started about 1 2 weeks ago, we got the high to the low, lower high, lower low, and we pretty much have been stuck within this range of this 4 hourly time frame from this high to this low. We pulled back last week. We went to retest that low right down there and rejected. And like I said on the compare and contrast video, I missed all of these buys right up in here. So what I am looking for tonight / this week, for the most part, if we're going to continue to bullish, which I think we are, I'm looking for price action to come back just a little bit, potentially create that new that bottom wick for that new this new daily / weekly candle. Tapping into this area right over here about 66,600. Then I'm potentially looking for buys. If not, if we completely blow through that level and continue to make lower lows and lower highs, come on, baby. If we continue to make lower lows and lower highs, blow through that level and keep coming all the way down, I'm expecting the price action to potentially tap into this imbalance on the daily, which would potentially give you that new higher low format structure, all that type of goodness. We look for a little bit of a potential consolidation in, or what I like to call price action fumbling with them keys right up in here. And then once we see how price action comes back to this level, how we start to fumble with them keys and then start to create higher highs and higher lows, then we'll be looking to get back into the market and potentially go back up and either retest this daily high or even break through this daily high for So for the most part, with the daily being bullish, that is the setup slash bias I am looking for currently on the lower time frames. If things start to get a little squiggly, start to show something different, then we'll adjust and adapt. But currently, right now, like I said, kind of looking for a slight retracement back down into this level right here. I'm looking for price action to come back into this area specifically, simply because it's just the structure that was most recently broken on a 15-minute time frame. So as we got all that price action from last week, that was big bearish, big bearish, big bearish, coming back down to retest this 4-hour support right down here. We then shifted and started going bullish, making higher highs and higher lows. So you got a higher low, higher high, came down, swept liquidity, then pushed up and broke and created a new higher high. So we got 2 points. I like this little wick right here. Price action to come back down into, potentially roll back over and then go bullish. Or like I said, if we come down and blow through that level, then if price action does continue to short off, then looking for it to come back into this imbalance area right down here, 65,390, potential take buys, and then go from there. But right now, it's a kind of a sit back and wait type of moment. I did have some scalp shorts, so I do got some scalp shorts in at the moment. I've been watching this since price action opened, and this is what we are looking at right now. Stops are in trail position, but the original um trade setup is looking like this right here, right here, right here, right here. And then now, since price action has come back and retest here, stops are trailed to go to the 1 minute. I can see that thing a lot better. Stops are trailed to right up in here. So right now, currently running a little short game action. Yeah, just looking to see if price action is gonna come back down and feel for me and let me get some pippage out of it. And then yeah, we're pretty much gonna be sitting back and waiting and looking for those buys. Now, because with this trade setup and this trade idea, because it's already stops and profit, trailing stops, I ain't really too much more worried about that thing, bro. We just gonna let that thing run and see what it do. If it happens to not come all the way back down to this little area I got identified right here, then we will adjust and adapt to what the market is giving out and press on forward and try to hop into them buys. But ultimately, our time frame, meaning the daily right now, is bullish. 4 hours somewhat consolidated, and then the hourly is bullish. So what we're looking for is to see price action remain bullish on the hourly time frame to continue to take buys back into that daily high or even break all the way to the top side. Uh, let's see. Once we get above this 4 hour resistance, we're looking at 160 of them things back into higher time frame supply area. And yeah, we just gonna see how we can do with that this week. Last week, like I said, the confidence was not there as far as the way price action was moving, as far as the pip value price action was giving out, the percentages, they were not pretty. So this week we're gonna see if we can get things turned around and see what we can get cracking like. But ultimately, should be looking for the best bullish scenario on AU, depending on what time you come to the charts. Me, as the title implies, I trade the Asian. So we getting active during the Asian. We setting up and taking trades based off what Asian price action gives us. So one of the things that kind of clued me in as far as want to take shorts right here to see it come back down into this level here. Just looking at last week's price action, how we impulsed into the highs and came back down. We ran into this little supportive area for the most part on a 15-minute time frame. What I was then basing and judging price action off of is, okay, so we pushed up. This was the last little bearish type activity that we had in the market right over here. As we pushed up and pulled back, tapped into this level, we did not push and go higher. So had price action opened up, and when it done this move here last week, and then we opened up this week, had the reaction from this weekend open pushed above this little structural high right here, would not have been looking for shorts to come back down into this level here. Definitely would have been looking for continuation buys back into this 4 hour resistance we got identified here. But since it fell short, did not break this ultimate high right over here, definitely hop down to that 1 minute and start looking for selling opportunities to eventually come back into that level there, and then see if I can take buys somewhat later within the Asian session, or if it had to be picked up on Monday. But ultimately, that's what it is. That's where we at, and that's what we looking at right now. Clicking over to UJ, bump out on UJ, higher time frame, go out to the daily, refresh that thing. Kind of like I said on one of the previous weekend analysis, kind of in the middle on as far as which level or which zones we should be specifically paying attention to as far as which way we think price action is going to go. when you blank that analysis and we look at price action from the past, what we see is the higher highs and higher lows back open over here. And see this big ass move right here, breaking structure looking left. So a part of me is saying, okay, we should be focusing on from this high to this low, and then all this right here is retracement price action to come back into supply to eventually leak to the downside. And then another part of me is saying, okay, well, yeah, I do see this bearish price action right here. I do see a pullback here, a pull and a retracement here that did not break the low. So we probably should be identifying bullishly because this current price action is big bullish. So with that being with that being said, and all that information in mind, what I am looking for is I have identified this current week as price action being bullish on the daily for UJ. And what I am looking out for is if once we tap into, I have to go down to the lower time frames and kind of identify where I want to set up supply area at. But if we come to this level and then start looking like we already kind of tapped into it one time, let's see what the high of this candle is, 45,071, and the low of this candle is 45. Yeah, so not really. We haven't really touched into this area right up in here just yet, but if we do happen to get up into that area and tap within this little range right here and then start reacting big bearishly to the downside, I do and will somewhat understand why price action is doing that. So when you bring the analysis back and you bump down to the daily time frame, we're currently, for the most part, just identifying this little bullish range right here that we're trading within. Um, this little bullish candle right here will be the area I'm looking for price action to tap into. And when you look at it from a daily time frame, let's see, 45 170 look like it tapped. 45 170 45. Yes, so we did not tap. So looking to see if price action is going to come back into that area looking left and then leak off, or do we push right through that level and continue to make higher highs and higher lows? And then once that potentially happens, it'll be a lot easier going forward with UJ as far as which way we should be identifying, which way price action is looking to push. But right now, ultimately identifying from this level as the daily low to the daily high. I know last week we had it from down here to up here, but the ranges that we were running into last week, I did not like how big they were as far as trying to get in and identifying key levels for where I potentially could attack the market from. It just really wasn't adding up and making sense. So I'm kind of adjusting a little bit on UJ. UJ is not my main squeeze. So if my analysis does not play out, if the key areas that I have identified within the market aren't necessarily holding up and doing the things that I need to do once price action push into those levels, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with adjusting and making corrections based off what the market is giving me. But for the most part, daily low, daily high, bump down to that 4 hour. We see we're somewhere retracing on the 4 hourly time frame. Looking at this low to this high with a retracement breaking structure looking left and then expanding back to the top side. So 4 hourly zone from this low all the way up into this high, not really identified on this chart simply because in the same exact area as that daily resistance is as well. So, and it just kind of be would be cluttering up the chart at this point. But for the most part, we're looking to see if we can get price action to come back down into this little demand zone. We got to identify looking left right over here. Or just how far it retraces back to the top side before finding a resistance. One of resistance or area I got identified right up here is 1 hour resistance, is where I would like for it to pull back to potentially see if we can take sales back into this demand zone and then take the buys to eventually ultimately break higher time frame structure. But that's a long ways away. So we pretty much just kind of identifying what we can look forward to for this week to potentially get active. So two possible areas I'm looking for price action to pull back into, and based off of the reaction is how we will set up a trade. But this will be the first area. We're looking to see how price action reacts once it taps back into this little area right over here. Structure most recently broken, area of interest right there. So if we get price action to come all the way up here, get the fumbling with them keys, we will start to potentially try to see if we can start seeing price action break structure on a 15-minute time frame and see if we can take those shorts back into this demand zone. If not, we're definitely okay with waiting for it to come all the way back into this 1 hour resistance and then see what it ultimately wants to do once it gets back up in there to see if it comes back into that demand. And then the last but not least scenario is price action just push right through that level. At that case, we'd be looking for a break and a retest of the area most recently broken and then potentially see if UJ is going to have the gas to get back up there out of there to the top side. So a lot of different scenarios that could potentially play out right now on UJ. At this point, we just looking for some more higher time frame confluence because right now we ain't really got it. Price action is shorting off on the hourly. We are bearish on the hourly, bullish on the fours, and bullish on the daily. And yeah, it's pretty much a sit back and wait and see what price action gonna give you. See what we gonna go. See what we can get the gas from to get up out of that thing and potentially make a couple of them things this weekend. This week. UCAD. UCAD is a little shaky at this point. Seeing price action close below this level right here, I ultimately, naturally, would be looking for this pullback on with them keys and go lower. Um, but we did break above higher time frame 4 hour levels last week with this push here. This could be the retracement to potentially push us even further bullish. We're looking for it to ultimately come back to that 135 606 level to potentially take higher time frame shorts to continue to go bearish. So we are identifying bearishly on the daily time frame from this high to this low. So what that would ultimately look like was the high to the low, retracement back into that imbalance to ultimately give us that new lower low. But intraday time frame price action right now on a 4 hour time frame is currently bullish. So this is what we're currently having to trade with or having to look at higher highs and higher lows. If we can get this all the way back into this imbalance to ultimately then start this new bearish impulse back into the lows. So looking at it from time frame to time frame, you have to be able to adjust your eyes, adjust your trading plan, adjust your sights to higher time frame, high to the low. We're looking for that next lower high, but on the 4 hour time frame, we're currently bullish, pushing into that area that we think that could potentially cause us to create that new lower high within the market from a higher time frame perspective. So got a little ways to go before we get way up there. So as price action is doing its thing right where it is now, um, like I said, yeah, we are trending bullish on the 4H. So we have done somewhat of a retracement, but I don't like that we broke below this structure right over here. So it might not keep going bullish once you get back up into this area. It might come up and give you one of these and get the fun with them keys and then start coming back down on you. So yeah, that'll be one of the things we're looking out for this week on UCAD. But ultimately, right now, bullish on the 4H, bearish on the daily. So based off the 4H, based off the hourly, we probably could be looking for the best bullish scenarios until we get back up into higher time frame structure, see what price action wants to do, and then make a decision going from there. So that is UCAD. Clicking over to GU. Let's see, we got something that's more clear. Let's see. GU based off of the daily time frame is bullish. And one of the things that we did notice last week on the compare and contrast video is when we started to push back bullish last week, we did push above this daily high. Not by much, but it did push above, which is kind of an indicator, like I said, on the compare and contrast video, that price action potentially wants to continue to go bullish. Generally, if price action would not have broke that high right over there, we generally expect a retracement to then um, probably come back down deeper within the daily range to retest something down where price action came from. But since it did break, we did identify this low right here as a new daily low. That push and gave you the new daily high. We have not created that daily resistance ultimately just yet because we have not started a retracement phase on any of the lower time frames. But just looking at this from this weekend, the notes that we left behind was if this Sunday's candles close, meaning today, if the candle closes bearish, then we could be waiting for a higher time frame pullback to build support, then go bullish. So what that ultimately means is, like we said, from this high on the or this low on the daily, we pushed up, broke structure looking left. If this daily candle right over here that's currently bearish, if it closes bearish, then potentially we could be looking for that retracement from the high or from the low to the high, potentially a new higher low, and then get back up in there and push back into that imbalance area we're looking for on the higher time frame. So yeah, that's a lot we're looking for this week. Nothing real standout is just get into the market right now as far as looking at these charts, but potentially, we're gonna catch the gas, we're gonna line it up, and then we're gonna drop a video about it. But right now, yeah, that's just what we're looking for. Ultimately bullish on the daily 4H and 1H, so probably should be looking for the best bullish scenario. during the agent session tonight, if we can get price action to start coming back down correctively and tap into the little supportive area created here, we could potentially get a retracement back to retest these highs before coming back down deeper. But at this time, that's all speculation. Right now, it does look like price action wants to retrace from right where it is right now. So we just gonna sit back and wait. Click back over to AU. We got a couple pips. We doing a little bit of something, but it ain't really just leaking like I wanted to leak. Let me see how many pips we push. You know what I'm saying? We came down about 9 pips. So I mean, a little something. Not bad for a scalp market open. But yeah, I'm just sitting back and waiting for price action to hit our key levels on lower time frame, waiting for price action. Once it hits those key levels, then react and then hopefully push us into our higher time frame levels so where we definitely can put that, adequate risk on the table and then get active within the market. Clicking over to GJ. GJ, I don't think I really saw too much of anything when I was analyzing this. We pretty much chopped around all last week. We did start coming back to the downside, breaking structures looking left. So ultimately, like I said, I ain't really looking to get busy with GJ like that. So for the most part, I'm waiting for price action to come back down into higher time frame structure and then try to make a decision based off of that later within the week. Because right now, the levels, all this, yeah, you just ask him to lose a trade, trying to hop in and potentially. Now, if GJ was the only thing on the table and I didn't have no other charts to trade, no other pairs to trade, I potentially would go through and break this down and dissect it all and then formulate why I thought price action was gonna go next. But because it ain't the only squeeze out there, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let that thing ride on out. But ultimately, higher time frames, let's see. We're pushing bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4H, and just kind of consolidating within this hourly time frame right up in here. So yeah, it's pretty much just a waiting game on GJ all around. Pushing over to gold. I don't know if let's see. Gold was bullish last week on a daily, bearish on the 4H from the high to the low. We did start a retracement phase last week that came into what we had identified as 1 hour resistance. We did tap into that resistance with this move right over here. And the key note right here is when we came back from that resistance, we did not break higher time frame structure and started going back bullishly. So what we're looking for right now on gold is to see, do we get any breaks of this higher time frame 1 hour resistance to potentially come back to retest deep within this 4 hour resistance right up in her. If we break above that 4 hour resistance with the daily being bullish, we probably would now be back in line, especially once we break this 1 hour resistance to potentially go back up and retest higher time frame structure, supply, resistance, all that good stuff looking left. So yeah, this is from last week. Delete all that. So hourly right now is currently consolidating. We're not bearish on the hourly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the pairs that I generally like to get active on or like to flip throughout the week. Not too long of a weekend analysis. I tried to go live on the tube, but for some reason it was not acknowledging my camera, so I couldn't do that. But right now on gold, where would I potentially get in from? Looking at it from the hourly time frame, let's just mark off some higher highs and higher lows, see what we can do. So we created the resistance, rolled over and started going bearishly, came back up, pulled back, did not break the low, then started breaking structure to the top side. So we got the high to the low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, somewhat of a higher low right here that did not break structure, came and wicked through. Then we rolled over back to the downside. So we have the high, low, lower, high, lower, low, and came back to the downside, did not break structure to looking left, and reacted back bullishly, breaking the previous lower high on the hourly chart. So potentially we could be looking for I didn't really know what this funky ass price action on gold. What we would look for is where did we tap before? Went on to 15. Okay, so we were big bearish, and then we came back in. Actually pushed above that level. So yeah, that don't really add up. But okay, so we pushed in, came back down, failed to break. So on the lower time frames, I would ultimately like to see gold hold up above this level right here. This high 19, 515. If we can get gold to come back down correctively from the price action that's opening up right now, 19, what did we say, 515? 515. We can get gold to hold up above that level, then potentially we can start striking, taking some scalp buys. 515 right up in there. Come on. We can get price action to come down from with them keys right on top of this level. Give us some formulation like that, and potentially we could target this hourly high right over here first. Then if it continues to give you the gas, see some type of break and retest action, we can get back up out of there, and then ultimately probably come back into this 4-hour resistance, and then see what gold wants to do from there. So, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Let me see. This is bearish, so got a lot of liquidity right up in her. What we be trying to come back into? We did not tap. Let me see what we target right over her. No baby right there. So definitely probably would definitely if we caught those scalp buys or any break and retest action based off of the hourly time frame, definitely would probably want to be out of the market by 1974, about that 900 level, to be out safely. If you want to be risking and ride all the way up to the top, risk it for the biscuit, 1974, 978 would be the exact level. I definitely probably want to be out of the market, because with price action being bearish on the 4H from the high to the low, that could be that next lower high to get the formula with them keys and see price action come down and leak back into this higher time frame imbalance that we had identified from the daily. So current price action, we could be looking for buys. Long-term setup, potentially we could keep going short on gold. Yeah, to see it come back into higher time frame levels looking left. But outside of that, yeah, I really ain't got much more for y'all left. I'm trying to get up out of here and get something to drink, get something to eat. It's been a long day. We're gonna see how these scalp shorts hold up for us right over her. I hopped in this trade probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Early, just because, like I said, when I seen price action come here, didn't break the high, looking left and started back printing bearish. I was in there, like swimmer to see if we can come back down and retest this little structure most recently broken. I know it don't look like a structure, but with this wick and how price action got up out of there, I'm targeting it right there. We most definitely could come back deeper. Feel some type of little imbalance we got right up in here, but safe side, I like to be out before price action get to fumbling with them keys. I don't like to be in the market when price action fumbling around and consolidating, doing all that extra weird shit, because anything could happen at that point, and then you went from having a big profitable, successful trade to only, getting out at break even or small gain. So outside of that, I think that's all I got for this one. Like I said, with price action not really breaking out of higher time frame ranges, there's not really a whole bunch to go over. It's a bunch of sit back and waiting, because we are, for the most part, having to formulate our trades based off of the lower time frames and seeing where price action is going to go for the short term, and then hopefully it'll reach somewhere on the higher time frame scale to see where we're going to go for the long term. But outside of that, that's all I got for y'all ass this week. If you're watching, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that button for your breath. I'm out of that thing. Oh, wait up. I'm out. Peace.